think that even if you don't like war movies, you should at least appreciate them, especially the good ones. I mean, there's a reason why films like Platoon, Dunkirk, Full Metal Jacket, Apocalypse Now are so popular, and you know, some of the most famous scenes come from war films, the Omaha beach scene from Saving Private Ryan, for example. So, as I found this interesting, and because I've only seen like 5 or 6 war films, I thought I'd take a closer look. Before this video starts, I just want to apologise for not uploading recently. That's mainly because I haven't been motivated to make anything. Also, I've had quite a bit of schoolwork, so I'm going to try and get things back to normal. That being said, hopefully you enjoy this video, and we're going to start by talking about the first war film. Dunkirk is very interesting, mainly because it focuses on the event of war instead of individual characters like most of the films in this video. And don't get me wrong, I love Christopher Nolan, but for me this film was kind of disappointing. Now, of course, this isn't a bad film by any means, and throughout the whole thing you really get a feel for the massive scale that these battles are happening on. Nolan cuts between the sea, land and sky, and with that you get some really exciting sequences, like when one of the pilots tries to escape from a sinking plane. Like all of Nolan's films, this one is very ambitious and also kind of confusing because the structure is non-chronological. Now, I don't know whether I missed something here and need to watch this film again, but if you've seen any other Christopher Nolan films, then you probably know what to expect.
Ultimately, what I chose to do is focus on the elements that make the Dunkirk story unique from just another war film or whatever, and it's the survival aspect and the suspense aspect, and so I wanted to address the story very much in the language of suspense.
As for acting in this film, there aren't many memorable performances, but that shouldn't matter too much as the visuals and directing are really good. And if you want to know who's in this, then the 4 main actors are on the screen right now. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Tom Hardy's got the best performance, but I haven't seen this film in a while, so again that might not be the case. There's also a cameo by Harry Styles, which is interesting. One Direction are kinda dead now, so you probably won't care. Overall, Dunkirk is an exciting film that gives a new perspective on the way war films are usually shown. It also has some great visuals and directing, and the acting's not too bad either. Plus the soundtrack's done by Hans Zimmer, so you can't really go wrong. Compared to other war films, it's not my favourite, and to be honest, it's more of an experience than an actual film, similar to something like Gravity. But if you like Christopher Nolan, you'll definitely have fun watching this. The newest film on this list is Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson, who you may know from the Oscar-winning film Braveheart, and starring Andrew Garfield from the 2 Spider-Man films that we won't mention. This film tells the true story of Desmond Doss, a soldier in World War II who refused to carry a weapon into battle and came out saving 75 soldiers. Unlike Dunkirk, this film focuses more on characters, and instead of the film going straight into battle, spends quite a bit of time introducing Desmond and his family, which was nice to see. Also, this film has the most unique and interesting stories. It's not about someone killing in war, but saving people's lives instead. Plus, it shows all the problems Desmond had to face, like whether or not he would be able to go into battle without a weapon, and even if he did, how the hell would he survive? Now, I don't know how accurate this film is to the real thing, but it seems to me like they did a really good job. And to be honest, most films that are based on true stories tend to do really well, whether that be First Man, the film that came out earlier this year, the Oscar-winning 12 Years a Slave, Catch Me If You Can, Schindler's List, basically any war film ever, as long as it's not sci-fi related. You know, I could make a whole other video on this. So another thing that I thought was really good about Hacksaw Ridge is how violent it is. Now, you may be thinking, how is that going to affect if the film's good or not, but really, if you're going to depict war, you may as well show it how it is. These were horrifying times where anything could happen, and to be honest, who doesn't like a bit of bloody hardcore violence? Also, this makes the war scenes way more effective and exciting, because sometimes watching a PG-13 rated action film gets a bit boring and it feels like there's no payoff. In fact, there's a really good video by a guy named Rosatron on this called The Importance of Blood in Film, so if you want more details, just go watch that. And no, I didn't copy anything from that video, so just shut up. The cast in Hacksaw Ridge is brilliant. Andrew Garfield gives a surprisingly good and heartfelt performance, and Vince Vaughn, who plays Sergeant Howe, was excellent and kinda reminded me of the Private Pile scene from Full Metal Jacket, another popular war film.
Private Pile, do you think I'm funny?
Sir, no, sir.
Then wipe that disgusting grin off your face.
Sir, yes, sir.
Well, any fucking time, sweetheart.
Sir, I'm trying, sir.
Private Pile, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Exactly 3 fucking seconds to wipe that stupid looking grin off your face, or I will gouge out your eyeballs and skull
It's hard to deny that Saving Private Ryan is one of the best war films ever made. Just the Omaha beach scene alone is worth the watch, and there's a reason why it's such a famous scene. The way Spielberg places you in the moment and lets you experience the film as one of the soldiers is really immersive. And when they eventually do get to the beach, everything happens so quickly that it's hard to take it all in, especially all the shocking violence. And even though that scene is the most memorable, the whole movie is just amazing. And I say that now, I actually haven't seen this in quite a while, but if you ever get the chance to, it's definitely a good watch. Come to think of it, I probably should have rewatched this before making a video on it, but oh well. So, Saving Private Ryan is about a group of US soldiers who go behind enemy lines to save a paratrooper whose brothers have been killed in action. Directed by Steven Spielberg and having a brilliant cast of Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, Edward Burns and Tom Sizemore, this film won 5 Oscars, including Best Director. Also, I completely forgot, but Vin Diesel is in this thing. That's right, Dom Toretto, the pacifier. If you haven't seen that film, it is a great film, great watch. At 2 hours 50 minutes, this is the longest film on the list by far, so if you really hate war films, you're probably gonna have to skip this one. And to be honest, when I first saw this, there are times when I got bored, but you know, all of a sudden, big fun action scene, and it's all alright again. Speaking of action, the war scenes in this film are amazing, and are basically all shot from the point of view of one of the actors, so there's hardly any wide shots, and Spielberg really likes to do long takes like this one, which lasts 45 seconds. If you've never seen a war film before and want to get into them, then I would definitely recommend this, but if you don't really like long films, you should probably try one of the others mentioned in this video. So, I don't know about you, but usually when a film comes out that's either a book to film adaptation or based on a true story, I'm probably gonna watch it, and most likely that's the same for other people too. There's something about seeing an event that's happened on the big screen that's really interesting and relatable, and the same can be said for war movies. If you watch 2 films based on World War II, chances are they're going to be told differently and each show something new or interesting that you probably didn't know before, and I think that's what makes them so important. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I know it's a little bit different to some of my other ones, but hopefully we're going to stick with this style and not change it. So if you do want to support the channel, then you can now subscribe by clicking on the watermark in the left hand corner, and if you're on mobile, then you can't really do anything. Also, as I only talked about World War II movies, I do have some recommendations for some other films as well, including Rex, Full Metal Jacket, which I haven't seen but it's meant to be good, and Good Morning Vietnam, which isn't a war film, it's a comedy starring Robin Williams, but it sort of counts. And yeah, Christmas videos coming soon, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I'm trying to get this video to 10 minutes because I've never had a video reach 10 minutes, so yeah, we'll just cut it there.